phone with Osceola today.
Are we doing the Spanish first, or?
I just work here. I don't make the rules.
Good morning, clerk. We're doing the Spanish first, or?
I guess.
Okay.
And then we'll do the Portuguese.
Or which one? You want to do the Portuguese at the end or after the Spanish?
I can do it after the Spanish.
Okay.
Judge, you need to call the Spanish interpreter too. You know she knocked us out yesterday, so let's see. Over there.
Add.
Hernandez. Hernandez. Let's go.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the Spanish interpreter.
Hello. This is Judge Roach. And today, for your listening pleasure, we have 3 people, and the first gentleman is now putting on his headphone apparatus.
Yes, Your Honor, and I have that connected. Let me verify that he can hear me.
Sí.
Yes, can I ask the correctional officer to move the mic that's on the podium away from him because they do cause interference? Thank you.
This is Jose Hernandez Reyes.
The interpreter's ready whenever you are, Your Honor.
Jose Hernandez Reyes.
Sí.
And
Yes.
this is 2020 MM 347. And Mr. Hernandez Reyes was arrested for battery, domestic violence. Just a moment, people are here and I want to make sure there's no one here for Mr. Hernandez Reyes. There's someone waving energetically at me. I don't know who that is. Do you know if anyone is here for Mr. Hernandez Reyes?
Not that on the list that she showed me, and I showed her the defendant's name.
Okay, can I be brought up to speed about him?
Yes, Your Honor. He was not identified through fingerprints, but based off of his name and date of birth, he has no criminal history. We were unable to interview him prior to initial appearance, and no victim contact was made.
No.
Okay. So, does he qualify for PTR then?
Your Honor, the charge does qualify per the admin order, but we would need to speak with him to see whether or not he would qualify for the program. We can interview him after initial appearance if the court would consider a bond or pretrial release if qualifies.
Do you wish to say anything?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to expect, Madam State, that if you want to speak, please just stand and let me know. I don't want to run over you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're soft-spoken, and I just don't want to move this train past you. So, Mr. Hernandez Reyes is released if he qualifies for PTR. And for the time being, he's to have no contact with the victim and no return to the place where this occurred. Except that if it's his home, he may return one time to retrieve his belongings with a law enforcement officer.
Your Honor, was that a straight PTR or a bond, or if he qualifies?
That's if he qualifies for PTR. If he does not qualify for PTR, then his bond is $500.
Your Honor, will the public defender be appointed on all cases for Orange County as well?
Public defender is appointed for all cases, and I have reviewed as before, I have reviewed these affidavits and have found probable cause.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that concludes that case.
Okay.
The next, we're getting the next guy set up here. Can you confirm that he can hear you, please?
Sí.
He can, Your Honor.
Michael Candela Figueroa and
Sigan, Luis Figueroa.
Yes, Andres Figueroa.
2020 CF 8920 and also 2020 CF 8925. And the defendant was arrested for trafficking in fentanyl, and his bond on that charge is $100,000. Attempted sale and delivery of cocaine, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. His bond on those last three charges is $150 per charge, and possession of drug paraphernalia, and that's a $100 bond. In a separate case, possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell, and his bond is $15,000.
Your Honor.
Sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that last amount?
$15,000.
Your Honor, by reading the list of the charges, I know it appears that he may be involved in the illicit drug trade. However, he has no felony convictions, no misdemeanors, no fails to appear, no unknowns, no stints in the Department of Corrections. He has like 2 minimal arrests, and he does qualify for pretrial release, Your Honor. I would ask the court if you would consider pretrial release because of his lack of history.
That motion is denied.
Okay.
So if I could have the next person, Perez Garcia. What am I doing wrong?
Oh, they need to announce their names on the record. You don't know who they
I thought we did that.
are. For Osceola, we switched over to one.
Okay, can we have another announce on the record, please?
James Thompson for the Office of the Public Defender.
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Lindsay Park on behalf of Pretrial Services.
Can you confirm that she can hear you?
Yes, you can.
All right, Nellie Perez Garcia
Yes.
was arrested for battery. And can someone give me her history, please, and any information that might be helpful?
Would you repeat the defendant's name, Your Honor?
I beg pardon?
Would you be willing to repeat the defendant's name, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm sorry, this is not domestic. I'm sorry. It's a $500 bond and no contact with the victim.
What is the defendant's name?
Nellie Perez Garcia.
Thank you.
See.
Your bond is $500. If you are released, you're to have no contact with the victim.
Your Honor,
Yeah?
she has an immigration hold.
Oh, does she? Okay. And just advise her, she has an immigration hold. Oh, we need
yes.
Portuguese, yeah.
Yes, let me call.
Your Honor, can the interpreter have the case number for Ms. Garcia?
See, now you could have read that for me, so I don't have to squint. Okay, 2020 MM 5383.
Thank you.
And I think that's all we need with the Spanish interpreter. You don't speak Portuguese, do you?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't, and I don't understand them when they respond in Portuguese.
Oh, come on, it's so close, isn't it?
Close, but not quite.
Okay, all right, well, thanks so much.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Have a good day. Is this the gentleman who speaks Portuguese?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're getting the Portuguese interpreter on the line. Where is it? The one on top here? Yes. All right, and good morning to the Portuguese interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, this is Judge Roach, and I have before me Evandro. Would you ask him to pronounce his last name for me, please?
Senhor Evandro, por gentileza, o senhor pode pronunciar o seu sobrenome?
Pereira.
Pereira.
Very good. Would you tell him, please, that he was arrested for having no motor vehicle registration?
Senhor, o senhor foi preso porque o senhor não tem o registro do veículo.
And would you also tell him, please, well, I'm sorry, his bond is $250.
Senhor, a sua fiança é $250.
And the case number for him is 2020 CT 901.
O número do caso é 2020 CT 901.
Thank you very much to the interpreter.
Thank you for using our services, Your Honor, and you have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
She might go up once she hangs up.
Very good. Blaine Bartley. Mr. Bartley, you were arrested for trespass after warning. Your bond for that charge is $500, and that's 2020 MM 5370. And in (2019) CF 1722, your bond is revoked. And in 2019 MM 3486, your bond is revoked. And in 2020 MM 3641, your bond is revoked. Corey Eugene Hall.
Your Honor, may I be heard before we move on to Corey Eugene Hall? Not on the last case. I'm talking about Mr. Hall himself.
Sorry?
I want to be heard on Mr. Hall before we conduct his initial appearance.
Okay, where's Mr. Hall?
He refused to attend, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of figured that wasn't happening. Your Honor, I've had him as a client when I was in county court and felony. I believe Mr. Hall has mental health issues, and I was wondering if the court's inclined to release as mental health, pretrial release, to have him screened, and if not, to set a bond and not to take any actions on the out on bond charges because of his mental health condition that I believe that he has.
Okay, well, has he been adjudicated incompetent?
I don't believe he. I don't remember because the case was so long ago, Your Honor. But if he hasn't, we're definitely
Okay.
going to get him.
Well, this is all academic because
Okay.
there's an out-of-county warrant and he has no bond on that. And
Okay.
I can't do anything about that.
All right.
I will revoke his bond in 2020 MM 2635 and 2020 CF 6196 and in 2020 MM 4358, and you just need to advise, when he has a petty, and then he has two out-of-county warrants. On one he has no bond, and on another one he has a $2,500 bond. And you just need to send an email to your colleagues that they need to seriously consider a notice of incompetence
Okay.
or an insanity and have him evaluated. Or possibly mental health court, I don't know. All right, Travis McMurray.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McMurray, you were arrested for stalking, and your bond is $1,000 on that charge, and battery, your bond is $100 on that charge.
Judge, we got somebody in the booth.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
Lori Garling.
Yes, I read all about you in the affidavit from the arresting officer. And you're the alleged victim in this case. And you need to know that under the law, I must give, at this point, the defendant a bond. So I can listen to you about anything you have to say, however, in making that decision.
Okay, I have 6 other pending places in Altamont is one, and then a bunch more for Mr. McMurray, where the police have come because he's following me all the way on a 3-hour bus ride. He's also, just 2 days ago, I wanted to leave my apartment and he laid behind my car and put his foot behind my car so I could not leave. And the police came out for false imprisonment. And when the police came to arrest him just this time, I asked the cops if I could go get a change of clothes. And at that time, he shut the door on the cops and locked me in the apartment, and they were ready to kick the door down.
Yes.
And he's injured my hand because he wrestled me in the house just for a t-shirt that I wanted to get a clothes and leave.
Right.
And he's been ongoing with this where I can't leave. He will hunt me down, pings my phone. He's even getting my phones and using my phones when I'm sleeping. He's taking pictures and videos of me when I'm sleeping because we reside together. And he will post them on his Facebook.
Okay, you don't still reside with
Yes, we do. We have an apartment together.
Okay, well, that's not gonna continue,
Okay,
that you understand that,
okay,
because he's not to have any contact with you, and he has to maintain a separate residence from you.
okay. His mom offered to get him an apartment, but he refuses
Okay,
to do
let's
that.
just stop.
Okay.
he needs to figure that out. He can't live there with you, and he can't have any contact with you, which means direct face-to-face, telephone, text, all of those things that are destroying our culture, like Facebook and Instagram and all that other garbage. Any kind of third-party communication, like tell her I said, no written communication like a letter, nothing. He cannot come within, let's say, 500 yards of you.
Okay,
Here's the thing. If he does, you call the police. You need to be able to prove it, so if you can take a picture, that would be good, or record or save any communication from him.
okay,
Because as soon as he violates this court order, he'll be arrested, and then he'll stay in jail without a bond.
okay.
He'll just stay in jail.
Do I need to get a separate injunction?
Yes, you do.
okay.
You need to consider getting a separate domestic violence injunction, a stalking injunction. It's a dating violence injunction.
Okay,
So you need to get that as well, and the people who work in that area can also help you and give you some advice. They're very skilled social workers.
okay,
So that would be a very good idea, and you can get that reference probably here at the jail. They can
Okay.
tell you how to do that.
okay. Do I need to
So-
make an appointment to attend the courthouse?
I
'Cause-
beg pardon?
With the virus going around, do we have to make an appointment to go and do the injunction?
I really don't know how that works. That's a separate thing, but they can tell you here how to do that.
Okay,
Your Honor,
Isn't there somebody downstairs who can direct her to the clerk's office on how to get an injunction?
She probably can, go ahead.
Your Honor,
Uh-huh.
Pretrial Services made contact with the alleged victim in the case. Information regarding Harbor House and the victim advocate should have been provided at that time. If not, she can certainly contact Pretrial Services again, and we'd be more than happy to help her with that.
Okay.
Did you get paperwork from the officer?
he gave me a booklet and then, a business card.
Is that book, is what she needs in that booklet?
I'm not 100% certain on what the arresting officer provides at the time of arrest, but from previous communication with previous victims, my understanding is that it does involve information regarding Harbor House.
Okay. So the place you need to contact is called Harbor House.
Okay,
Look in that booklet real carefully and see if it's not in there. If not, you can call Pretrial Services, and that telephone number is
407-254-7500. And Your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial services, and if he's released, pretrial services would be reaching out to the alleged victim again and answering any questions she has.
So if he makes bond before he's released, they're gonna call you,
okay,
let you know he's gonna get out.
Your Honor, we would only contact the victim if he was released through pretrial services.
Oh, through Pretrial Services? Oh,
Correct, Your
sorry.
Honor.
So maybe not.
He does qualify, Your Honor.
okay.
What is the benefit of his being released? What is the benefit to the victim of his being released through pretrial services as opposed to just released on a bond?
Your Honor, it's the court's discretion whether or not to give him a bond or pretrial release. However, there would be his supervising officer would be reaching out to the alleged victim throughout the duration of his case and making sure that he's abiding by release conditions.
I'm just afraid that he will come back because I had an injunction before against him for strangulation, and then he said that he wouldn't do it again, and I dropped it, and then now here we are with, all kinds of cases with
What
him.
does the state think in a case like this? It seems to me that it might be more protection for the victim if I released him to PTR, because then there would be a person constantly checking with the victim.
We can agree with PTR, Your Honor. Would also ask, though, for a no contact to extend to the witnesses mentioned in the affidavit, as there's been some threats going back and forth there as well.
And so ordered. So I'm going to vacate the bond order and release him to PTR, which means he's going to have to check in with them and do certain things. And if he doesn't, he'll be picked up and held no bond.
Can we test, I mean, I don't know if it's my right or whatever, but, because I've had to call the police to the apartment for him doing crack cocaine and heroin. Like the heroin, we didn't call the police, but the crack, we called the
Drug
police.
tested on PTR, right?
If the court so orders.
And so ordered.
And can he wear a bracelet where it would notify somebody if he's so close to me?
Don't have that ability.
Okay. I'm just afraid, so that's all.
That's the best that I can do. I'm sorry, you need to be careful. He can return to the apartment. Are you gonna stay in that apartment?
Yes, ma'am, because I have nowhere to go. I have a 17-year-old daughter.
Okay, so he can return to that apartment one time,
And the police will come with them?
only if he has a law enforcement officer with him.
Okay.
Otherwise, he can't.
And what would he be allowed to take at that time? Like,
He can take only his belongings, and anything that is in dispute, he can't take.
okay.
So you probably need to change the locks on that apartment.
It's an apartment, and I did talk to them about that. But he took the mailbox key, he has the gate code and everything.
It's your decision to stay there under those circumstances. So
Right.
if you want to stay there with those risks in place, then there's nothing I can do about that.
Right, I understand.
Okay, I've done about all I can do here.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, so Elijah
Yes,
Tamarki,
yes, ma'am.
2020 MM 344. And is somebody's here to talk for you or regarding you? Hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
my name is Simone Charles.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
Oh, sorry, I'm kind of tall. Okay.
Yeah, you are tall. So, what's your relationship to Elijah?
Elijah's my nephew.
And why are you here?
Well, yesterday he threatened to kill everyone in the house, and
Yeah.
the police heard him while he was screaming that. They had
He
me.
was outside, right?
He was outside in the Yeah, he was outside in the whatchamacallit. I'm sorry, I'm having a brain freeze.
That's pretty alarming. I read about that here.
Yeah. So it's not really me that's the victim because I have somewhere I can go. It's really just my family that I was concerned about because he threatened to kill everybody in the home. And I really don't think it's smart for him to be able to go back to that home. I just don't want to get a phone call of anything happening to my family.
Is that normally where he resides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I honestly feel like he has a lot of anger issues and he needs help with that.
Does he qualify for PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in this case, there were a number of people in the house. I would consider all of them victims. So under pretrial services, would all of the victims have pretrial services telephone number so they could call if he bothered them?
Your Honor, the only individual that pretrial services would be in contact with would be the individual that was labeled as a victim in the arrest affidavit.
I'm sorry.
They're all in the arrest affidavit.
According to what we received, there's only Ms. Charles listed as the victim. That was the only victim notification card that we received.
Well, that's just not in accordance with what the affidavit says. There were a bunch of people or several people in
Yes,
that
ma'am.
house. And he
And
said,
I put in their
I'm
family.
going to kill you all.
And the police heard him.
So that's just totally arbitrary. They could have pulled anybody's name out of that. They're all in exactly the same position.
Your Honor, I'm unaware of the details of the case. All I have is what's in front of me that was provided by the arresting officer.
Okay, well, that's not, that's just a myth then, because what you have is, how many people were in that house?
It's my 90-year-old grandfather, my goddaughter, who now my mother has
Can you just
custody
list
of.
them without spinning all these words?
Oh,
How
I'm
many-
sorry. 1, 2. It's about 5 people in the house.
Okay, so there are 5 victims.
Did you want her to list the
So
names,
here's
Your
what
Honor?
I will do.
Yes, I can.
Did you say something?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I
What's
just
their
asked if
names?
you wanted to put the names on the record of the other victims.
Just name the names.
It's Elise Tomar Warren. You have Tatiana Pena. You have LaShonda Tomar. Also, my grandfather, Dennis Tomar. And my mother's husband, Jimmy C. Warren.
And say your name again.
Simone Charles.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna release him on PTR, which means he's gonna have some responsibilities to fulfill and some supervision.
Okay. Okay.
And if he doesn't conform to those responsibilities, then he'll be picked up again and held no bond.
Okay.
And I'm ordering pretrial services to treat every one of the people you listed as a victim.
Okay.
And that means they have to contact each and every one of you
Okay.
and treat you all as victims as the same.
Okay.
Because there is not one victim, you were all in exactly the same position. And he said,
I'll
he didn't
kill everyone
say,
in this
I'm
house.
gonna kill you, Grandpa. He said, I'm gonna kill all of you.
Yes.
According to your, the affidavit in any event. So he is to have no contact with any of you. Now that means also, by the way, don't put him in the position of you contacting him.
Well, so that means he'll be going back to the home?
Just a minute. Do you
Okay.
understand what I mean when I say don't contact him?
Okay.
Yeah, good answer. And you need to tell all 5, everybody, don't contact him. Don't call and make sure he's okay. Because that means he's in violation of a court order.
Okay,
And
I
he can get in
understand.
trouble for that. Now, he can return to the home one time, and only if he has a police officer or deputy sheriff with him to collect his belongings to go somewhere else. He has to maintain a separate residence from all of you.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, no contact. That means no telephone calls, no tweeting, texting, blogging, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Posting information, none of that god-awful Facebook, Instagram, all of that
Yes, ma'am.
nonsense, Snapchatting, whatever, all of that, gone. No, none of that. No pictures, no messages from third parties, gone. Okay, so
Thank
that's
you.
the court's order.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I wish you all well. Anthony Perez Garcia, 2020 MM 5373. Are you Mr. Perez Garcia?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you were arrested for battery and your bond is $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Travis Peoples,
Yes, ma'am.
And that is 2015 CF 12007. And this is a warrant for violation of probation, and you have no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Travis Bridges.
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Your bond is $2,500. If you're released, you're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim, and you may not return to the place where this alleged battery occurred.
Okay.
What was the bond? I'm sorry.
2,500. Abraham Kabani. Mr. Kabani, you were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
I'm a victim.
Oh, hello.
Hi,
And what's your name?
Rose Moise.
Okay, hold on just one second. This is 2020 CF 8924. So what's your relationship here to Mr. Kabani?
Mr. Cabani is my husband. We've been together for 8 years on and off and married for the past 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And we have a daughter who's 8.
Yeah. And so, what do you have to say on his behalf or with regard to his case?
I'm really tired with him coming here. If you look how many times he's been coming here for the same domestic violence, I'm just tired. I can't do it no more. I'm thinking about one of these days I will be dead because I really can't do it no more. I am afraid. He's drinking, and he's talking all the time about, for the past 6 months, I will kill you. 3 weeks ago, my family came, and there was like 10 of them. He came to my bedroom. He said, I'm going to kill all of them tonight. So I went outside and told my mother. My mother came to him and said, my son, what happened? But my mother always tolerated him because he knows he have problem with alcohol. And he confessed to my mom that he did say that. And last night, when after 16 hours that I work, I came home, he grabbed the scissors and came at me. I was really scared. I just can't take the verbal, emotional, physical no more. I can't do it.
Okay. So have you ever called Harbor House?
No, but I've been going to, a lot with Mr. Abraham. They've been putting him doing alcohol tests, going to
Okay,
do.
I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you.
No.
Okay.
No, I never contact him.
There is a place called Harbor House
Mm-hmm.
that counsels women who are in or coming out of domestic violence
Mm-hmm.
situations. They are excellent. They're not pushy, they don't have an agenda, they just know their business. And I'm very worried about you.
I know, and Josh, I'm a registered nurse. I know a lot about, abuse things. And I let him doing it over and over. I really know the reason I don't reach to other people because I have a little knowledge, of what's going on with abuse back and forth.
I just wish that you had someone to walk with you on this road. Because that's what these people do. Sometimes we cannot walk by ourselves. We need somebody just to hold our hand.
Yeah.
So just think about calling those folks. They're not gonna tell you pack up and leave, and, they'll just talk with you. Just see what they have to say. You're really good people.
Okay.
Just think about it, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, I just wanted to say that there are 2 out-of-state arrests for domestic violence, and I know they're just arrests, but just for the court's awareness, for DV arrest in Florida with the same victim and a tampering with the witness with the same victim.
Are there ever instances where the court sets a bond and orders pretrial services?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could I do that in a case like this?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. So the terms of his pretrial release are this. His bond is set at $10,000. If he is released, he's to have no contact with the victim or his children. He is not to return to the home or to any place where the victim is likely to be or where she frequents, such as the grocery store she goes to, where she works, her friend's house, her mother's home. And he's not to contact her in any way, by phone, by text, by computer, in any way, by a third party. And that goes for the children as well. If he's interested in seeing his kids, then he needs to go downtown and file a dissolution of marriage action and get a court order to do that, or file some paperwork in this case, because he has a lawyer in this case and he can do that. He may return to the home one time if it's coordinated with the victim to retrieve his belongings, but only if he is in the company of a law enforcement officer. He is to have no weapons on his person at any time. No guns, no knives, nothing. A violation of this order will result in his immediate incarceration without a bond. These people, they will supervise him if he posts a bond. If he's able to post that bond, there will be some supervision of him. They will be in touch with you as well. So you'll have a number to call if you have questions, or if you're feeling upset, or if something, he tries to contact you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay. I will be thinking of you.
All right.
Christine Alvarez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so has Miss Alvarez has no history?
She has some expunged history, Your Honor.
Okay, so
does qualify for pretrial release, Your Honor.
Okay, I was kind of expecting to see your husband here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release you through PTR, which is, you don't have to pay money to get out. But you're gonna have to follow some rules and you can't go home. You can go home one time to get some belongings and then you'll have to find another place to stay for a few days or until this case gets resolved. Now, I've appointed the public defender for you and maybe the public defender can help, especially if your husband, you know, he said he didn't want to pursue this and then once the police get involved, it's all bets are off, so. But you can't have any contact with him. That's the problem. But if you get in contact with the public defender's office, they can contact him. But you can't contact him in any way, even through someone else. And if he tries to call you, you're just going to say, I can't talk to you. The judge said I can't until this is over. I mean, it's just a big mess. If he'd been here today, there might have been some things I could have done, but maybe he had to work. I just don't know.
He didn't know he was supposed to come.
Yeah, well.
I had no way of contacting him to let him know.
Yeah, I know.
And he doesn't drive.
He doesn't drive?
No, ma'am.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, maybe he couldn't get a ride. Okay, so this, just hang in there. This, you know, it's just going to take some time. Okay, all right. So somebody will talk to you and you'll get out today. Oh.
Thank you.
All right. So Aman Brojani.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I kind of expected to see somebody here for you too.
Okay.
But I don't. So, and does he qualify for PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm doing the same thing with you as the other lady. I'm releasing you through pretrial services, but for the time being, until you can talk to your lawyer, you can't go back to where this happened. You can't have contact with the victim or a witness. You just got to stay away from that. But your lawyer could contact them for you. So, and if they call you, you can't talk with them. You can go back one time to the house and get your belongings, but only in the company of a law enforcement officer. So your charge was battery.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
It's I own the home and she lives with me. How does?
I know. It's often that way.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Della Caridad Juarez.
Yes.
So anyone here? Oh, yes. Yay. Okay, hi.
Hi.
So you were arrested for battery. What's your name?
Yolanda Amador. I'm her
And your
sister.
relationship?
Sister.
Sisters, yes. And so things got a little ugly yesterday. And have you all had this kind of thing happen before?
No. I don't want to press any charges. I want her to be released.
Are you afraid of her?
No, not at all.
Okay, if this kind of thing happened before and she threatened you physically,
No.
would you assure the court that you would call 911?
No.
If she threatened you,
Oh, okay.
would you call 911?
Yes.
Okay. state?
Do you think alcohol played a part in this?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Anything, anybody? No? Okay, so I'm going to release her on her own recognizance during the pendency of this case, because this case may or may not go forward. I don't know. But as long as it's a possibility that it might go forward, no alcohol.
Okay.
Okay?
Your Honor, I do just see an assault with intent to cause physical injury on May 5th with the same victim in New York, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you had responded no when she asked.
No, but it wasn't with me.
Our records say same victim, but
No, it was with her roommate. It wasn't with me.
No alcohol. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pedroso Dominguez, sorry, this is 2020 MM.
Yes, ma'am.
380. Okay, so someone's here for you. You were arrested for assault. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Brigida Soler.
Get close to the microphone.
My name is Brigida Soler.
And what is your relation to the defendant?
He's my husband.
So things got a little ugly yesterday, yes?
Yes.
And has this kind of thing happened before?
A lot of yelling, yes, it did happen before.
Right, any kind of threatening, like to hurt you?
No. Well, last night there was a lot of pushing.
Sorry?
Last night there was a lot of pushing. We push each other. We yell to each other. But
So are you afraid of your husband?
no, I'm not afraid. I got out of the house last night anyway. I just want to leave. I got some family members out of the state of Florida. So I took half of my stuff already. I'm in a friend's house right now.
Are you leaving him?
I'm planning. I just got out of the house, for now.
So, do you think he should be in jail? What do you want to happen here?
He can be out. He can be out.
You're not afraid of him?
No, I'm not afraid of him.
Why are you crying?
This is my first time for me to be in the courthouse for this issue.
Am I making you scared? I'm sorry.
No.
Don't be embarrassed. Do you see how many people have been here?
It's the first time for me, so I'm sorry. He's very good to my kids, I don't work. He's the one working, paying for everything. We just bought a house. The closing date, it's in 2 weeks. He take care of everything in the house.
Okay, so do you want to just be apart for a little while?
Yes, that's what I want. I just want some time.
Right, okay. But is it okay for you to talk to him on the phone or maybe even see him face to face as long as you're not living with him?
Yes.
Okay. Does the state have any questions?
yes, it looks like he has a history of some prior batteries. Was that with you or with a different
No,
victim?
not with me. We got 10 months marriage. So I've been here, I moved here from the state of Michigan 14 months ago. So I met him back in August, and we get married in October.
So the Florida arrests for aggravated battery domestic violence are not with you either?
That was not me.
Okay. And are you concerned for your children?
No, no, not at all.
And you would call 911 if anything else happened?
Yes, I will.
Nothing further?
Qualifies for PTR, Your Honor.
Okay. So he's released to pretrial services. That means somebody's going to keep an eye on him, and he's
Okay.
got to check in with people and do certain things. He doesn't have to pay a bond, but he has to do and check in and follow some rules. Now, you two have to maintain separate residences.
I'm out already.
Okay. So he can go back to the home.
Yes.
You can have contact, but there will be no hostile contact. Means he cannot put his hands on you unless you give permission. Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
right here. Does that make you mad?
No, ma'am. No, not at all. Not at all, ma'am.
Excellent. Okay,
She know
I don't
that.
want
She
to
know
see.
that I love her, ma'am. She know that
Okay.
she's the love of my life. And I love her daughter like it was mine, man.
Okay, yeah, just say that. So, no hostile contact. He can't put his hands on you unless he asks permission and you give it.
All right.
You got control over that. And if you start feeling nervous, if he's around you, you also have control to end that contact. So you can say, I'm not comfortable, leave. And he has to leave.
Okay.
You can talk on the phone within reason, but he can't call you 97 times a day or text you 400 times a day. If you say, stop texting me, stop calling me, it has to stop immediately. Understand, you have that power.
Thank you.
Okay? So, he'll be out today. They'll stay in touch with you as well.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor.
Hang in there.
Your Honor.
Yo.
For clarification purposes on pretrial services part, the defendant can return to their shared residence as long as the victim has vacated, correct? The defendant can return to the shared residence as long as the victim has vacated, is that correct?
Yes. Okay, just,
Maintain separate residence.
yes.
That's it.
Okay, so BRC2, listen up. I'm gonna, thank you, you can leave now.
Thank you.
Goodbye. In just a minute, I'm gonna take a break for those of you in 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Nikki Renee Flinsbach. What is that person?
Hello.
Hello. I hope you're not going to read those papers to me. So is anyone here for this person? Okay, hang on just a second. This is 2020 MM 5381 and
Your Honor. The 2 remaining victims are with Christopher Perez and Ibrahim Sahim. Is that correct? And so they were hoping to have their case called before the break.
well, that may or may not be possible. All right, State, we have any priors here?
No, ma'am.
No?
Oh, sorry.
I don't see anything in our records, Your Honor.
Okay, so you were arrested for battery, domestic violence. She qualifies for pretrial services, yes?
Yes, Your Honor. And for the court's knowledge, the victim is also incarcerated.
Right. Oh my gosh. So, I'm gonna release you. Does the victim have any priors?
Let me look that up for you, Your Honor. Your Honor, are you requesting just his domestic violence history?
Any history.
He has convictions for burglary, petty theft, and possession of cannabis, and an arrest of battery domestic violence with a different victim.
Okay. So I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance.
Thank you.
And you have the public defender who's gonna represent you, but you can hire your own lawyer, of course.
Okay.
But while this case is going on, you and your husband are gonna have to stay apart.
That's fine. He can go stay at his mom's house. The only thing is that we work at the same place. He works in the warehouse and I work in the office.
But can you stay apart?
We're gonna be in the same building, but he'll be in the warehouse and I'll be in the office.
Okay, well, that's fine, as long as you just keep the contact to a minimum and any contact you have is not hostile.
Okay, and we also have a daughter, so I'd like to talk with him about that as well, if that's okay with you.
Here's what you do. You think he'll be staying with his mother?
Yes.
You call his mother, and his mother will be the intermediary.
Okay.
Don't talk directly to him while this is going on.
Okay.
Let your mother do the transporting and the talking and arranging.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So you should be released today. No contact with him except for that work contact that I mentioned.
Okay, thank you.
That includes texting and computer talking. All right, very good. Moises Herrera, 2020 MM 343. Okay, so you got arrested for battery. And let me refresh my memory about your case.
Could the no contact in this one, Your Honor, extend all the people, the witnesses mentioned in the affidavit? There's some record of there being issues with the other children as well.
Okay, so Mr. Herrera, you were arrested for battery. Does he qualify for PTR?
He does, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna release you to be supervised by Pretrial Services, which doesn't mean you're gonna be on an ankle monitor. It just means you have to check in with them, they check in with you. You have to play by the rules.
Okay, ma'am.
But only so long as this case is pending.
Yeah.
It might not go anywhere, but, so we're just maybe talking for a short period of time. And in the meantime, you have the public defender. You could wait a few days and call their office and see what they, or you can hire your own lawyer. Okay, so the only bump in the road is you can't go back to that house.
I'm going to my.
Huh?
I'm going to my dad's sister's house in Apopka, so I'll stay over there because I just had hip replacement, so I ain't moving anywhere. And I gotta have hip.
Okay, so go back there. Go to that house.
Okay.
Don't have any contact with any of those people in that house at all. That means text, computer, all that stuff. No contact. As long as this thing is hanging over your head, this case is going on.
Thank you.
So, you can go over there one time with a cop to get your stuff, get your clothes and so forth,
Yeah.
if you need to do that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
But you can't just show up. You have to go with a cop.
Okay,
Okay, very good. All right, sir.
thank you.
Jessica Milan, 2020 MM 5365. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, just one moment, please. Let me remind myself. Okay, so you were arrested for battery. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance. She has no history. Let me get that confirmation, please.
Yes.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance, which means you don't have to post a bond. But listen up, you can't be around or have any contact with Carlos. Did you hear me? Listen up, don't listen to them, listen to me.
I hear you.
You can't have contact with Carlos.
Okay.
So if he's in the house.
He's not.
Okay. You can't live together.
No.
He has to live somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, right. So that means no texting, no computer, no telephone, no nothing while this case is going on. I've appointed the public defender for you. They'll have your file in a few days so you could call them, or you can hire your own lawyer to help you with this. But no contact with Carlos until this case is over, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you'll get out today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brandon Neal. That's 2020 MM 5377. Okay. All right, so, priors,
Your Honor, this is the defendant that we discussed with the other co-defendant also being incarcerated. He has convictions for burglary of conveyance, petty theft, and possession of cannabis, and a
right.
prior arrest for battery domestic violence.
right. Okay, so, so you were arrested for battery. I'm going to release you through pretrial supervision, which just means that you don't have to post a bond, but you're going to have to follow some rules and check in from time to time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have to maintain a separate residence from your co-defendant there. And by that, I'm sorry, I mean Nikki, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, y'all can't live together and you can't have any contact while this case is going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that? That means texting, tweeting, any kind of that nonsense.
Yes, ma'am.
None of that. Telephone, nothing.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
appointed the public defender for you. They'll have your file in a few days. You can call them or you can hire your own lawyer. So you'll get out today. You can go to the house with a cop one time to collect your belongings, and you're going to have to find some place to stay while this case is going on, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. 2020 MM 618, Morville Fisher. I really need a break.
Who's she here?
Hello. Mr. Fisher, you were arrested for battery, and I want him screened for mental health PTR, please.
Would the court be willing to consider setting a bond or alternate form of release in case he doesn't qualify for mental health PTR?
If he doesn't qualify for mental health PTR, then I want him to be released. Can I have his criminal history, please?
He has no criminal history, Your Honor.
Then I want him released through PTR. And I want a condition of PTR that he take all prescribed medication, and that he make an appointment with his psychiatrist or a psychiatrist for an appointment to review his case and for a medication update. And you know, unfortunately, I don't know if he may have trouble finding a place to stay, but he can't go home. He's going to have to find someplace else to stay while this case is going on, and he can't have any contact with the victim or the witnesses. And that means no telephone, no text, no computer, no nothing. Anything else from the state that you'd request?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Case number 2020 MM 5364, Laura Nunez. I'm gonna need a history on her. Does she qualify?
No history, Your Honor. She does qualify for pretrial release.
You were arrested for battery, and I'm going to release you through pretrial release services, which means you don't have to post a bond, but you have to follow some rules that are going to be explained to you. You're going to have to make some calls and check in with people. It's important that you follow those rules. If you don't, you'll be picked up and taken back to jail. Okay? They're going to tell you what the rules are. Make sure you ask questions and you follow the rules. She's going to have to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I wish I could read my handwriting.
May I say something?
Your Honor,
Yes?
I own a home. He lives with me.
I said separate residence. If he's in that house, you can't go back there.
Okay,
You might,
he's gone.
okay, then you can go back there.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as he's not there.
okay,
And no contact with him at all.
okay,
Understood?
yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, 2020 MM 5369, Jason Ortiz. This is the last one, then I'm taking a break. Okay, Mr. Ortiz, you were arrested for battery, history, and qualification.
Your Honor, Mr. Ortiz does qualify for pretrial release. He does have no convictions. However, he has 5 previous battery arrests, same victim in all cases, as well as an ag bat with a weapon, same victim, out-of-county warrants, and probation violations.
Wow. Say that again.
Your Honor,
He has no convictions?
no convictions, Your Honor. 5 previous battery arrests with the same victim, as well as an ag bat with a weapon, same victim, out-of-county warrant arrests, as well as probation violation arrests.
Okay. His bond is $10,000. If he makes that bond, he's to be supervised by pretrial services. He's to have no contact with the victim whatsoever. He may not return to the residence except once with law enforcement to remove his belongings.
Excuse me, Miss, Your Honor, if I may.
Just call me Miss. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. The victim, she has she just got off of no contact with me. The reason why none of my charges fell through is because they were all lies. I beat all the charges for a reason, because she was lying on all of them. She just got a no contact off of me, and I let her come to my place, and she started the issues again. So that's why she called the cops, because she knew that the no contact was off. She is on pretrial right now for the same reason.
You people are taking up way too much time of the justice system. Maybe you should find another girlfriend.
And I agree.
So, next case. Court is in brief recess. Okay.
The other door's not closed.
Oh.
no key? You don't have no key?
Oh, no, don't you dare, or I'll stay out for 30 minutes.
I just told him you were taking a brief recess, Your Honor.
Oh, that woman, she better watch that out.
Okay.
Make sure you can get out. It's still on.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready for 2.
Have you seen the public defender out there?
No, I haven't.
Okay, this is 2020 MM. Let's see. 346. Christopher Perez. Okay.
Yes.
History and qualification.
Christopher Perez, Your Honor.
Yes.
He has convictions for DUI, 2 convictions for DUI, Your Honor, and an arrest for leaving the scene of a crime. He was not recommended for PTR due to being on county probation in Lake County.
He's currently on probation?
Yes, Your Honor, in Lake County.
Okay. So Mr. Perez, you were arrested for battery. Your bond is $1,000. If you are released, you're to have no contact with the victim. You must live separately from the victim, and you're to consume no alcohol. You are on probation in Lake County, and your probation is violated by your being arrested on this charge, and you have no bond on this on-view violation of probation. Can you give us that Lake County VOP? Oh, I'm sorry, counsel. This is Christopher Perez. I gave him $1,000 bond, no contact. He's on probation in Lake County, and I'm holding him on a non-view violation, no bond. If we could have that case number.
2019 CT 006776.
Okay, Billie Jean Pryor, 2020 MM 5382. Qualification and history.
Mr. Pryor was not interviewed prior to initial appearance. I apologize. Ms. Pryor was not interviewed prior to initial appearance. She does have prior convictions for battery on a person 65 years of age or older, felony battery, battery, assault on a Leo, and disorderly conduct, arrests for agbat and battery DD, and out-of-state arrests for tampering with drugs, 2 arrests for domestic violence, and a conviction for an offense involving underage drinking.
Okay, so her bond is $2,500. If she's released, she's to have no contact with the victim, and she must maintain separate residences, residence from the victim. Ibrahim Sahim. And sir, you were arrested for battery, and someone is here on your behalf. Hello.
Good morning.
Can you get close to the microphone, please?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, just take a breath. It's gonna be fine. Okay, okay. Listen, just listen.
It's my husband, and we're on a honeymoon, and I love him. I'm not afraid of him.
Listen. Say your name.
Wala Hamia.
Okay. So, are you afraid of your husband?
No.
Has he ever put his hands on you in a violent? Listen to my question. Has he ever put his hands on you in a violent way before?
No.
If he or anyone else put their hands on you in a violent way, can you assure me that you would call 911?
Yes.
So you would protect yourself and your children,
yes.
Right? Okay, that's good to know. History?
No history, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, there is a note that he was the subject of an injunction protection order in Michigan that expired June 19th of 20, unknown persons or protected persons child.
Okay, do you know anything about him having an injunction against him in Michigan?
Yeah, we went to court and they dropped it because his cousin had it on him because he left the house. He didn't want to live with that lady at the house because we got married a month ago and we've been together for 3 years. And his kids at home. And we just came to Florida for our honeymoon.
Do you live here in Florida now?
No, we live in Michigan, but we came here for our honeymoon.
Okay, so I'm going to release him on his own recognizance. That means he'll get out today. I'm gonna order that he may have contact with the victim and her children, but no hostile contact. That means
He's a good man. He's a hard worker. He's very good.
That means he can't yell, he can't threaten, he can't put his hands on anyone in a violent or angry way. Here's the important part. You need to make sure that your correct address is available. Is that 5678 Bruce Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If that address changes, you need to tell the court down here, unless you get a piece of paper that says this case is not being pursued.
Okay.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Lord. Walter Shaw.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so history and qualification.
Your Honor, he was not recommended for pretrial release due to currently being on state probation. His convictions include improper display of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, criminal mischief, 2 driving while license suspended, grand theft, 2 times a VOP, arrest or ag assault, possession of drug para, possession of marijuana, possession of controlled substance, fraud, ag battery on a pregnant person, scheme to defraud, obtaining property under $20,000, ag battery on a pregnant person with the same victim.
Mr. Shaw, you've been arrested for battery. Your bond is $500. If you're released, you're to have no contact with the victim. You are also, sadly, on probation. So your probation is violated by this new charge, and so you have no bond on that violation of probation charge.
Can I say something?
Well, you have a lawyer who is the public defender who is here, and I'm quite certain he does not want you speaking in the presence of the prosecution and on the record, which is being recorded.
I haven't spoke to a public defender anyway, but I would like to speak to one. Because for one, I had just got off of work and I hadn't done anything but sat on the bed. But I've been brought to jail for nothing. So I would like to speak to someone.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to speak to someone from the public defender's office soon. Okay.
So you did an on-view VOP?
Yes.
Your Honor,
the case
this is a witness for Christopher Perez his case is already called.
Well, she wasn't here.
What's the on-view VOP?
Yes,
the
can I have
VOP?
the case number for the VOP, please?
For Shaw?
Let me get that for you, Madam Clerk.
I just heard my name, Shaw.
Fifteen oh nine 831.
15? Is it a
09?
CF or?
Yes, CF 09831 is what is in this DOC.
It's a DLC?
In the Department of Corrections website is
I'm
what.
sorry, could you repeat that one more time, the CF number?
Let me look it up in the clerk so it's clear. Give me one moment.
I was supposed to get off and do something.
(2015) CF 009831.
Okay.
Brian Shepherd.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Shepherd, you were arrested for battery. Your bond is $5,000. If you're released, you may have no contact with the victim and you must maintain a separate residence from the victim.
But I was the one who called 911. I don't understand why I was arrested in the first place. I never got to fill out a police statement or nothing.
These things just have a way of taking on a life of their own. All right, so if we could just pause for a moment. I don't know why that woman missed her chance to come into the court. If she does not sit down, I'm going to have her removed from that room. So could I see Mr. Perez's information, please? Okay, and now can I see the the bond conditions? Counsel for the defense,
Yes.
I'm going to bring this incredibly annoying, agitated woman in here. I can't bring Mr. Perez back. I'm going to tell her to be quiet and not say anything. And all I'm going to do is tell her the conditions of his release.
Okay.
Do you have an objection to that?
No.
Thank you very much.
Good
Say
morning,
your
ma'am.
name.
I'm sorry. I was not agitated.
Say your name.
Shaniqua Higgins.
You may not speak. Do you understand?
May I apologize?
No. Mr. Perez's case was already called, and we spent a significant amount of time talking to him. This is the result of his hearing before this court. The court found that there was a legal basis for his arrest. The court granted him a bond of $1,000 and ordered that he have no contact with the victim, and that while he is out on bond, if he makes bond, he may not consume drugs or alcohol. However, it also was brought to the court's attention that he is on probation currently. That means by being arrested, he is in violation of his probation. So he cannot be released on that probation violation. You may not argue with me. You may not say anything about the case because that may hurt him. He is being held no bond on the violation of probation case. On the domestic violence case, he has a bond and a no contact order with you based on what was said in the police officer's affidavit. So that is what happened, and as a courtesy to you, I have taken all of these people's time and allowed you to come in and disrupt these proceedings as you have disrupted by your incessant gesticulations and objections to the court taking a restroom break, and you continue to gesticulate. But nonetheless, that is what happened before the court. You are now excused.
Thank you. And how do I go forward about the part that pertains to me? Does it matter to go forward with the, you're saying there's two separate cases. Do I have to do anything about the one that's pertaining to the domestic violence?
The court's order is in place. There's nothing for you to do to enforce that order. If he is released and he attempts to contact you, you need to call the police. You could also contact Harbor House, which is a shelter and an organization that advises women who are victims of domestic violence, and they have lots of advice for what to do, how to do it, and who to contact. I can't give you advice, but they can. You should have gotten their number in a victim's information pamphlet or booklet that the police gave you.
Thank you, ma'am. And my hand motion, it was nothing to do with you. I was just trying to explain with not using words. So I guess it came out agitated, but there was zero agitation.
Have a nice day.
Sorry.
Jasmine Boyd, Miss Boyd.
Yes.
You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance, 3 separate counts. On each count, your bond is $1,000.
Your Honor, she does qualify for pretrial release.
She's released through PTR. Miss Boyd, that means you don't have to pay money to get out. But there's going to be some rules that you have to follow.
Yes.
And if you don't follow those rules, you're going to get arrested and held no bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Just follow the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
Just drug testing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Darius Bradley.
Bradley, you recuse, Your Honor?
We waive his appearance, Your Honor.
Mr. Bradley was arrested for possession of cocaine. His bond is $1,000. Laura Calhoun.
$1,000?
$1,000. Ms. Calhoun, you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine. Your bond is $1,500. Jason Johnson, you were arrested for possession of cocaine. Your bond is $1,000. Possession of a controlled substance, your bond is $150. And petty theft, your bond is $100. However, you appear to have been out on bond in a DWLS case. Your bond is revoked in that case. In a case in which you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, your bond is revoked in that case. In a third case, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance and resisting an officer without violence. Your bond is revoked in that case. In a fourth case, operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license, your bond is revoked in that case. In a fifth case, possession of meth and MDMA and/or MDMA, resisting an officer without violence, and petty theft, your bond is revoked in that case. Okay. Carmen Khan, you were arrested for 2 counts of DUI and driving while license suspended. On the first count, your bond is $5,000. On the second count, your bond is $150. And on the third count, your bond is $100. Robert Larkin.
You refuse, Your Honor.
Defense waived his appearance.
Okay, for Mr. Larkin, he was arrested for burglary of a structure. His bond is $5,000. Possession of paraphernalia, his bond is $100. In 2020 CF 2020 CF 5397, bird conveyance, possession, meth, criminal mischief, and petty theft. He was out on bond, so his bond is revoked. Jonathan Massey.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 2020 CF 8913, you were arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. Your bond is $15,000. Possession of cannabis, your bond is $100. And then separately, possession of meth, your bond is $1,000, and possession of paraphernalia, and your bond is $100.
Ma'am.
That is 2020 6969. In 2020 3471, you were on bond for possession of cocaine with intent, 2 counts, resisting without, and possession of paraphernalia, and your bond is revoked in that case. Jacob Murray.
Your Honor?
Yes?
On the case that that defendant is out on bond for, it appears that the state has only filed on 2 charges.
Okay, fine. Mr. Murray, 2020 CF 7850. You were arrested for dealing in stolen property. Your bond is $2,000. Second count, providing false verification of ownership to a second-hand dealer. Your bond is $150. David Rosa. Mr. Rosa, you're here because the judge signed 2 acapias, 2 counts of acapias for failure to appear in some other case, and you have no bond. Hold on just a second. Yeah, he has no bond. John St. Hilaire.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. CF 8926, Frank Cicini.
He's medical, Your Honor.
Thank you. 2020 CF 7052.
Are we resetting him?
Who?
Cincinnati.
He bonded.
Oh, I thought she said he was medical.
Sissy is medical.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought you said he bonded. I'm sorry. Will the defense waive his appearance?
No, Your Honor. When they're medical, we just ask for it to be reset to tomorrow.
Why?
That's just how it goes down here.
That's not what Judge Wish told me. She said, don't reset these cases. Are you thinking he'll qualify for PTR?
Well, he's on probation, so he's gonna be at no bond. But I was told that in our office that if it's a medical where they have to be transferred to the hospital, we don't waive their appearance, and they're reset to have an IA after 24 hours of release from the hospital.
Well, he's not in the hospital, Your Honor.
He's what?
He's not in the hospital.
He's not in the hospital. He's not in the hospital.
Oh,
They've been waiting.
I waived his appearance.
Okay, so he was arrested for fleeing in 2020 CF 8926. His bond is, he has no bond. I'm sorry, I need to set a bond in that case. Does the state want to be heard on that?
Defer the court, Your Honor.
His bond is $3,500. And then he is here for violation of probation, and he has no bond on that charge. And that case number is, sorry.
Brevard, out of county.
Oh, it's out of county. Okay, so now, let's see. Spencer Starks.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
2019 CF 7052. Two violations of the conditions of pretrial release. His bond on count 1 is $1,000 and on count 2 is $100.
Your Honor.
Just one moment, let me just look at this. Yes, ma'am.
Just so the court is aware, the first appearance detainer for the open case was closed due to the fact that the violation of pretrial release was caused by the case for which the defendant is
Right.
out on bond.
That's what I figured, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're gonna take no action?
No action. Kira Nguyen. This is 2020 CF 90, well, what is that? Is that 6010? You were arrested for forgery. Your bond is $1,000. Uttering a forgery, your bond is $150. And petty theft, your bond is $100. So what is all this?
I've already been bonded on those.
What is all
Oh, the bondsman came off the bond.
The bondsman endorsed your bond.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Your Honor, if a bondsman bonds someone out and then they get arrested on new charges, they have the ability to basically come off the bond and remove the responsibility. So she's incarcerated again on something that she did bond out on, but she'll have to repost bonds to be released.
Okay, so your bondsman said he didn't want to stand by your case anymore, so you have to either get a new bond or post a cash bond.
Okay, so I have a question. On the new charge, it's a cash bond?
Well, no, you can get a bondsman.
Okay,
It's
because
not a new-
they told me
it's not a new-
they told me the new charge is a cash bond, a $7,500 cash bond.
I didn't see anything for $7,500.
That was the warrant that was heard yesterday, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was never told to me to be a cash bond when I came.
Okay. Omar Cardona,
Yes,
you're here because a judge says you failed to appear for some court hearing and you have no bond under that KPS.
Your Honor, can I be heard as to this case?
Yeah.
It appears that Mr. Cardona, he did have a court date, and because of the coronavirus, they switched it to a virtual hearing. But he actually showed up in person. So of course he was turned away, and he has documentation to prove that. He has a motion to quash set before Judge Bigney tomorrow.
Okay.
So we would ask that he did not be held at no bond, and you release him on his own recognizance, Your Honor.
Okay. That's denied. I'll leave that to Judge Bigney.
Okay.
All right. Enel McLeod.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McLeod, you were arrested for DUI. Your bond is $500.
He does qualify, Your Honor.
Oh, he does qualify?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could I see
I will release him then on pretrial release. Hey, Mr. McLeod. Can you hear me?
I'm a little hard of hearing you. I'm trying to listen.
Okay, now listen up.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not going to make you pay money to get out of jail.
Like that. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're not going to have to pay money to get out of jail, okay?
Okay.
But some person's going to come talk to you about what you have to do to get out of jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're just going to have to follow some rules. Do you think you can do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it's going to involve you calling people and when you're supposed to, and telling people where you are and making appointments and stuff like that. So do you think you can do that, or would you rather just pay the money?
Well, I have a little money. I've got over $200 in my account here. I don't know if that be enough.
Well, your bond is $500.
Yeah.
So which would you rather do?
If I can pay the money and go home, I'll pay the money.
Okay, that's fine. Your bond is $500 then.
Your Honor,
Yo.
would you have any objection to reducing his bond to $100?
Yes.
Could I make just a brief explanation of why I say $100? Okay, so if you said that $500, all he has to get the assistance of a bail bondsman. They require 10% down, which he'll actually pay $100 out of his pocket. He may not be able to do that by himself, but if he has $100, how he said that he has it on in his property, he could post that same $100 and get out today. So he'll still be paying. It's only $100 to get out. So that's why I asked if you could reduce it to $100, he could pay it himself and get out.
What does the state think?
I'll defer to the court, Your Honor.
Didn't it make more sense to put that money in the state's pocket and not in the pocket of a bondsman?
Thank you.
Court reduces his bond to $100.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm glad you're not coming to my division. See, because I'm training you to argue with me after I've already ruled. And if you tell other people that I do that, I will hunt you down.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
It's been discussed if I should move to your division, because you're in the division with Felipe Franco, right?
You can't come. You cannot. Okay. Villalobos. Oh, hi. You were arrested for having no valid driver's license. Your bond is $500.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, hold on. I'm not finished with that part. What's your name?
I am Villalobos, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the wrong person.
No, you're talking to the
But
right
you
person.
were out on bond for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia
Yes, ma'am.
in 2020 CF 8857.
Yes, on that traffic stop, they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, please. Okay, so your bond is revoked. That was really stupid. Okay. Dana Brown.
Your Honor, did you have an Octavia Sapp? She was right before Villalobos. That's who I heard.
I don't have that.
Let me see. Hold on. See if you gave it to me.
Can we just keep going and then we'll come back to that? Okay, Mr. Brown, you were arrested for trespass, and your bond is $500. Theodore Colley. Mr. Colley, you were arrested for possession of paraphernalia. Your bond is $500. Quantavious Redding.
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for petty theft. Your bond is $500. And that is case number 2020-5376, but you were out on bond in 2 other cases.
Yes, ma'am.
2020 CF 3353 and 2020 CF 5157, and your bond is revoked in those 2 cases. Alex Bancroft.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bancroft, you have an out-of-county warrant you were arrested on, and your bond is $7,500.
Yes.
Austin Helmick.
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested on an out-of-county warrant, and you have no bond. Edwin Mercado. Okay.
What she said?
He bonded. And then James Sprague. Mr. Sprague, you were arrested for disorderly conduct. Your bond is $250. Okay, before we shut down, does anybody...
It's Sapp.
Oh, here's Mr. Sapp's case. I'm sorry. Mr. Sapp, you were arrested for a hit and run, leaving the scene. Your bond on that, this is... Let's have a CT.
Yeah. CT 619, AA, and CT 620.
Okay. On the hit and run, your bond is $500. On the traffic violation, driving while license suspended, your bond is $100.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did Adam McGuire bond?
Here you go, Judge.
All right, let me get up there.
So, were you being talked about to come to replace Mr. Franca?
Not replaced, but maybe it was before cause we had shakeups in our office, so I won't be.